It's AEW in 2023. That means new year, new feuds.
Wow, you're in the mix with Pro Wrestling Bits.
AEW looked to get its Mary J. Blige on in 2023 with no more drama in the new year. But even when the clock struck midnight, AEW drama was like, oh, you thought a calendar was gonna solve your problems? Nah, my G, you better have some leadership to go along with that calendar. I don't know why AEW drama sounds like Fat Albert, but right on cue, AEW crisis manager Dave Meltzer is calling for another one of those patented AEW team meetings Wednesday in Seattle to avoid another disaster to kick off the year. AEW had a team meeting right before All Out, and look how that turned out. This locker room doesn't need meetings, they need a leader. Tony Khan isn't Paul Heyman, he's Todd Gordon. Todd Gordon owned ECW, but Paul Heyman was its emotional leader, one who commanded the type of trust and respect from other wrestlers that they'll never have for a promoter not named Vince McMahon. William Regal could have been the Paul Heyman type before he split. Depending on when his contract is up, Paul Heyman could be Tony Khan's Paul Heyman. Because the more backstage blow-ups happen in this company, the easier it will be to tune out a team meeting filled with wrestlers who like to hear themselves talk. It's a pivotal year for AEW, which will feature a make-or-break television deal and a possible free agent purge both this year and next. The last thing AEW needs is petty distractions and a tumultuous locker room, but that's exactly what it feels like. Dax Harwood tried to extend an olive branch between CM Punk and the Young Bucks, and he only seemed to make matters worse. FTR's contract is coming up, and the team is suddenly on a losing streak. Perfect time for Dax Harwood to start shooting on a podcast. Dax was so honest, his podcast might go away entirely because of how much heat it got. God forbid a wrestler speak freely about real life. That would make it harder for promoters to control and exploit them. Wouldn't want that. So let's just keep following these unwritten rules that protect the wrestlers so much. CM Punk has been all too happy to poke the bear, even in purgatory. Cousin Phil may be in timeout, but that hasn't stopped him from subtweeting AEW, like this IG story where he took credit for AEW's viewership spike in 2022. Suddenly, as CM Punk advocates in an AEW locker room, FTR feels like the one guy in a black church who voted Herschel Walker. All the more reason for FTR to leave the territory and revive their push in WWE for now. Speaking of people trying to leave the territory, Miro versus Tony Khan is getting very interesting. Lana has acted as Miro's surrogate, making shady comments that I don't think she'd be making on Miro's behalf if she didn't have his blessing. Like with any spouse, they're a team. And Team Miro just wants it to be Rusev Day again, which Lana admitted that could be a possibility. Miro took things a step further, Lana took things a step further and even threw shade at AEW, quote, Tony Khan runs his business however he'd like to run his business, and I'll leave it at that, end quote. She totally didn't leave it at that, quote, there's a reason why WWE is the greatest wrestling franchise and one of the greatest franchises in the world is because they value sports entertainment, they value storytelling, they value not just fighting for a wrestling title, but they value resolving conflict in the ring, end quote. Clearly disgruntled and disillusioned in Jacksonville, Miro is basically Bulgarian Andrade. Both of their frustrations have coincided with them being off television for months. Funny how that works. This is where being a former WWE guy actually hurts you in AEW, because if you even have Triple H's phone number, Tony Khan is willing to let you sit out the rest of your contract, right, Cousin Phil? But Lance Archer isn't in the ex-WWE category. He just seems to want an opportunity to shine in AEW, and he's not being quiet about it. Lance Archer voiced his frustrations on Busted Open Radio, and then again in a fiery promo from New Japan Pro Wrestling that was since deleted from Twitter. With Archer barely on TV these days, Jake Roberts has echoed those same sentiments. Frustrated talent, plus a tense locker room, and Sammy Guevara make for a toxic cocktail of a backstage environment. Lance Archer is very much seen as an AEW guy. Not only would a Lance Archer push help the AEW product, it would be a much needed vote of confidence for day one talent. So let Lance cook. Now we gotta talk about Max Caster and Jeff Jarrett. But before we do, let's talk about today's sponsor, Let's Get Checked. Guys, if you're thinking about your 2023 bodybuilding goals, then I have an important message for you. Hitting your goals are going to be next to impossible if your testosterone levels are in decline. It doesn't matter how old you are. The average male testosterone level has been declining at a rate of 1% per year since the 1980s. Low T can lead to lack of strength, decreases in bulk, and even male menopause, which causes a lower sex drive. I urge you to test your testosterone levels in 2023, and you can do it all with help from today's sponsor, Let's Get Checked. I love Let's Get Checked because it gives me the freedom to measure my testosterone levels without having to get permission from a doctor first. You don't have to leave your home, you don't have to get off your couch, you don't have to go to a lab to get your blood drawn. It's very convenient. Here's me taking the test myself. Just took a quick and painless blood sample, followed the user-friendly instructions, and sent this bad boy to the lab. Got my results back that same week, and here they are. Long story short, my testosterone levels are lit because, like Hangman Adam Page, I am a man! According to the analytics for this wrestling YouTube channel, so are you probably. Once your sample arrives in the laboratory, confidential results will be available on your secure online account in 2 to 5 days. Let's Get Checked laboratories are CLIA and CAP approved, which is the highest level of accreditation. Your results are reviewed by a member of the Let's Get Checked clinical team, and they can even give you a virtual consultation, and in some cases, the clinical team can prescribe you medication that'll be ready at the pharmacy of your choice. So if you want to test your testosterone levels from the comfort of your own home, visit trylgc.com/prowrestlingbits for 25% off using the code WRESTLING25, also available in my description. Max Caster cooked Jeff Jarrett in his latest diss track, and Jarrett doesn't sound too happy about it. Jarrett cut a worked shoot promo on his podcast where he told Max Caster not to mess with a man's money or a man's family. Kurt Angle weighed in on Twitter, which is definitely not part of an AEW storyline. Plus, we all know how well worked shoots work out in AEW, like that worked shoot between Eddie Kingston and Sammy Guevara that resulted in a backstage brawl, or those worked shoot comments from Britt Baker about Thunder Rosa, or that worked shoot promo between CM Punk and Hangman Adam Page. It's receipt season in pro wrestling, and as great as that acclaimed diss track was, Jeff Jarrett's guitar shot might be extra stiff on Wednesday. Shit, Roman Reigns got his receipt on Kevin Owens, and that's the wrestling company that actually has authority, whom the talent respects. You think for 1 second Jeff Jarrett is scared of Tony Khan? The only reason I think Jeff Jarrett is in AEW is because he thinks he can trick Tony Khan into booking it and maybe even buying it from under him like Paul Heyman did Todd Gordon. So if Jeff Jarrett wants to pull a CM Punk and turn this feud into an on-site scenario, I wouldn't be the least surprised. Not in this company. Worst case scenario, Jeff Jarrett gets sent home to sit around and cash checks with Miro and Andrade. Check out this video on what the rest of AEW's 2023 will look like. And subscribe if it's the first thing you do all year. Will AEW get over its backstage issues in 2023? Can Tony Khan control this locker room? Tell me in the comments!